Welcome back to Post Time. The Quillen Memorial Harrington Raceway signature event is a night of fun and fast horses, raced in the memory of a fantastic fan and one wonderful man. We are so proud that Representative Bobby Quillen was and still is an important part of Harrington's rich history. Bobby Quillen, the longtime Delaware state legislator who passed away in 2004 after a battle with cancer, was a member of the board of directors of both Harrington Raceway and the Delaware State Fair. In fact, an arena at the state fairgrounds was named in Quillen's honor. He was considered a leader in environmental and agricultural issues and an expert on the legislative process. Quillen, a U.S. Army veteran of the Korean War, served in the Delaware General Assembly until the time of his death. Quillen was a huge fan of harness racing and loved a good horse race, like the annual event that attracts incredible pacers each year and races in his honor. And it's important to note that this year's Quillen Memorial is the 10th edition of Harrington Raceway's signature event. For 2016's race, we have star pacers who boast over $8 million in combined purses earned. Let's meet the competitors in this rich $150,000 event. The horse with the rail is Wiggle It Jiggleit. The 2015 Harness Horse of the Year performed at Harrington Raceway last season, setting an overall track record plus a world record for 3-year-old geldings on a half-mile racetrack with a 1:49 clocking. This year, the 4-year-old son of Mr. Wiggles, owned by George Teague Jr. for Harrington-based trainer Clyde Francis, has been covering thousands of miles and visiting Victory Lane in major stakes, collecting 35 wins in 47 lifetime starts, while captivating racing fans across the country with some breathtaking performances, with Montreal Teague in the sulky. Post position 2 is McCardle's Lightning. Owned by Lightning Stable, the 4-year-old has been a heavy hitter among open pacers in New York and New Jersey. McCardle's Lightning is trained by super respected and always a force to be reckoned with trainer Steve Elliott. Last time he had David Miller in the bike, McCardle's Lightning won. And yep, Miller is back in the sulky for this one. With spot 3, it's Mock It So, owned by Bayman Racing. He's the defending Quillen Memorial champ, having won the event last year. This season, the son of Mach 3 has crossed the wire first in 7 of his races, including his most recent start at Yonkers Raceway. Trained by Jeff Bayman Jr., the 6-year-old is just shy of $1.5 million in earnings. The 6-year-old even has last year's winning driver in the sulky, and that's Tim Tetrick. In post position 4, we've got Luck Be With You. The 5-year-old pacer is a previous Breeders' Crown champ, having won it in 2013 as a freshman. Owned by John Craig, the Western Ideal 5-year-old has been in many stakes engagements this year. And he's another impressive and super fast millionaire going behind the gate in this one. Luck Be With You is trained by Chris Oakes and has Eric Adele in the sulky. As number 5, American Primetime, was scratched, we are moving right along to number 6, and that's Rockin' Ron. Racing for owners Burke Racing, Weaver Buscemi, and RTC Stables, the 4-year-old is the one horse in the field who has beaten Wiggle It Jiggleit, and he did it just last month. Trained by the top powerhouse stable in all of North America, that's trainer Ron Burke, he's seen this impressive pacer win 11 out of 20 starts this season. Rockin' Ron gets the driving services of Yannick Gingras. Moving on to the outside post positions, we'll take a look at number 7, and that's Keystone Velocity. Loretta Gollum is the owner of this 8-year-old standout standardbred. Trained by local conditioner Mike Hall, Keystone Velocity is fresh and lightly raced this year and looking to continue on a winning streak, having just come off a career best of 148.4 at Pocono Downs. Andrew McCarthy's in the bike for this big race. And post 8 is Mel Mara, another hometown trained hero. Starting for the Dylan Davis stable, the 7-year-old has campaigned against many of the sport's top pacers this season. The son of Liz Mara, owned by Robert Cooper and Jerry and Teresa Silva, took a career best of 147 this season, which gives him the title as one of the fastest horses of 2016. In a prep for the Quillen, Mel Mara made his Harrington Raceway debut on September 12th and set a track record for aged pacing stallions in 150-1. Corey Callahan gets the call for this big drive. We've learned a little something about each of the competitors, so let's go behind the starting gate for this year's Harrington Raceway signature event, the $150,000 Bobby Quillen Memorial.
There goes Rockin' Ron out with Luck Be With You. Wiggle It Jiggleit down toward the inside. They race into the first turn. Wiggle It Jiggleit. Moving between horses, Luck Be With You. Rockin' Ron drops in there third, getting away fourth. McCardle's Lightning. Then comes Mock It So. After that, it's Mel Mara. The trailer is Keystone Velocity. Race up the backstretch. And Wiggle It Jiggleit's got the lead. Able to drop in there second now, or trying to, is Luck Be With You, but closing that hole up is Rockin' Ron right now. They went by the quarter in 26 seconds. They race into the far turn, Wiggle It Jiggleit. Now Luck Be With You finally got in there in front of Rockin' Ron, who's back to third. They come over toward the top of the stretch the first time, and Wiggle It Jiggleit's got about a 2-length lead. Luck Be With You racing in second. Making a move now up on the outside, coming after Wiggle It Jiggleit. That looks like McCardle's Lightning. Following McCardle's Lightning, Mock It So. Rockin' Ron is back to fifth outside Keystone Velocity. Mel Mara jammed up at the rail. 54-2 into that first turn once again. And Wiggle It Jiggleit's leading by a little bit more than a length. McCardle's Lightning races on the outside. Luck Be With You with the rail. Second over trip from Mock It So. Down inside, that's Rockin' Ron. Third over Keystone Velocity. They're midway up the backstretch. And Wiggle It Jiggleit's lead is about a half length. McCardle's Lightning on the outside. Luck Be With You's got the rail alongside Mock It So. 3/4, 122-3 into the far turn. Wiggle It Jiggleit back into second now. Luck Be With You. McCardle's Lightning on the outside. Force 3 wide will be Mock It So as they approach the top of the stretch. Wiggle It Jiggleit turns for home, leading by a length and a half. Luck Be With You giving chase in second. They come through the stretch. It's Wiggle It Jiggleit drawing away now. Wiggle It Jiggleit pulls away. Harrington Raceway's Wiggle It Jiggleit motif.
The Quillen Memorial 2016 has crossed the finish line. Let's send it over to Matt Sparacino, the Assistant General Manager of Harrington Raceway, for an interview with the winning connections.
Thank you, Jack. I am joined by the connections of Wiggle It Jiggleit, who many people here in the stands tonight came out to see. The 2015 Horse of the Year. 150 win, did not disappoint in front of the home crowd. George, we talked before the race. You really wanted to win this race in front of the home crowd.
Oh, yeah. When you come back home, man, and what he done last year was very impressive, but wasn't the crowd like we got tonight. And he definitely built on the reputation ever since then. So this is definitely the fun part of racing.
I know that in promoting this race, we discussed all the places that he's been. He's been as far north as Quebec, Canada, as far west as Indiana. But of all the races that you won last year, including a $700,000 Meadowlands Pace, the list goes on and on. One of the most memorable wins was right here at home for $11,000.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, but that's where my heart's at. I mean, you know, I was raised here 40 years ago, and just to have it here is a big, big thing with Montreal driving, Clyde training. I'm watching. Can't get no more fun than that. So,
talk about the energy around this horse. Obviously, you know, this isn't a typical night at the races. We have a strong following here just to see him, and you're kind of used to it because you've seen this everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been racing all my life, and I kind of missed it at a young age where everything was like that. And you go around to Indiana, to New York, and even when you trans over to the thoroughbreds, to the standardbreds, and know who he is, you know you kind of got a good following.
Well, George, congratulations on your first Bobby Quillen Memorial win. We want to bring in Clyde Francis, Montrell Teague. Montrell, we'll start with you. You've been along the ride for all of Wiggle It Jiggleit's races. Tell us about tonight. I know you had to be excited with so many of your friends and family being here.
Yeah, it's definitely great to win at Harrington, even if it's just an overnight race, and definitely this one. I mean, I look in the stands and I see all my family, I see my friends, and see my nieces and nephews, so it's definitely a great win.
Take us through the draw when you saw that the horse had the rail. There's a lot of people that were probably guessing he was going to be on the front end. I'm sure you liked your chances a little bit more once the draw came out and you saw that you had the rail, but with some familiar rivals in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, just having the rail on this track, I kind of know this track the best out of any, and it's not guaranteed if you have the rail here, but with the competition I was going against, but it happened. It worked out good today.
Were you feeling pretty good on the front end after 26 to the quarter, half, and 54? Were you feeling pretty good about your chances, and did the horse feel like he was within himself?
Yeah, at 26, it didn't really bother him too much. I was just worried about the horse on the outside. I just wanted to settle everybody, so I didn't have somebody on the outside of me the whole time bringing me down my neck. But he kind of settled in behind me, and I kind of backed it down as much as I could, and then around the last turn, I popped the earplugs, and he did all the work.
Well, Montrell, we want to congratulate you. And also, Montrell, by the way, is approaching 1,000 career victories. Clyde Francis, trainer of Wiggle It Jiggleit. You obviously are everywhere the horse goes. Is he a good shipper? Tell us about the attitude and what he's like on the road.
He gets on the trailer, you never know he's on, and if you stop him anytime, he'll move around. But other than that, you never know he's on the trailer, and as soon as he gets off, you put him in the store, right to eating, whether he comes home or going out, shipping doesn't bother him at all.
And what's on the schedule next? Obviously, there'll probably be a race out of town after this and the rest of the winter.
Dayton the 30th. Then it's, I think, going to Yonkers for a race, and then the TVG, and that'll be it for the year, I think.
Well, Clyde Francis, George Teague, Montrell Teague, all the connections of Wiggle It Jiggleit 2015 Horse of the Year, winner of the 10th annual Bobby Quillen Memorial.